Welcome into the Pope Prep Coaches Show. As always, joined here by Dr. Wade. Coach, how's it going?
It's going great.
Since last week's show, we had a lot to talk about. We had 3 games. We had senior night. But a week later, we're here. You only had 1 game, which was a very important game for your team. It was a MyTV 30 game against a CPA team that is way better than their record, as evidenced for what they did the other night in the first round of the playoffs or the play-in game. Talk about the performance and your win over CPA on MyTV 30, and also what it did and what it meant for your team.
Well, it meant a lot. It's just to be able to be on the local station and have a chance for a lot of Nashville to see us play that hadn't got a chance to see us play yet. But even for some of the fans that couldn't quite make it out to see us on TV, we got a lot of texts saying, "Hey, we saw you on TV. Good job." But the importance of it for the boys, I mean, playing CPA earlier that week and, really winning by 30 plus, my biggest worry was were we going to be motivated when we played them there Friday. But I think the MyTV 30 part of it helped. But we also just kept harping that they're going to give you a better game. They're at home. It's senior night. They're going to have motivation. Coach Maggard told me they had some great practices, so we knew they were going to be prepared to play. And, I warned the boys before we come out of the locker room, you're going to have a battle on your hand. And we did, and the boys responded masterfully. Again, another game last year that probably wouldn't have went our way, but we just kind of figure out ways to keep winning, and it's a different guy that kind of pulls us out every night, and they kind of took turns in that game, kind of taking the lead.
Well, and it was a back and forth game. You all would stretch your legs a little bit, stretch out the lead. Here they come back.
Yeah.
And really, it was that fourth quarter performance. Jerron hit 2 big threes for you to really kind of open that game up. Yep. I think if you see the score, it's not indicative. It was a tight battle most of the way. Yep. And they had some kids that played some really good ball against y'all, but that fourth quarter performance is exactly what you have to see on a team. And the impressive thing to me was the free throws. You all hit 9 of 10. That's something earlier this year in one of the games it hurt you, but making 9 of 10 is something that you're going to have to do down the stretch.
Yeah, a lot of what happened in that game is what we're going to have to do down the stretch. Most of our games going forward are going to look just like that. I'm expecting the same type of game Friday night, expecting the same type of game Saturday. It's going to be close. Free throws are going to decide it one way or the other, taking care of the basketball, rebounding, all the things that you have to be really good at this time of year. We're going to have to really hone in and make sure we're excelling at that as a team.
And Friday night, too, was huge for your program. It is marked the very first time in school history that we shared a championship, let alone one for first. Got the 1 seed in the tournament. Yeah. Which has never been done either, no. Which is huge. But while those things are great, and you can kind of you can put your name on a banner up there in the gym. Yeah. There's so much more I know that you all want to accomplish. But just for a moment, I want you to look back and talk about from 1 year ago to where you all were with 2 wins, I believe, in the division, 2 tying with BA basically. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that moment Friday night.
Well, that moment Friday night was actually kind of weird because there was a trophy ceremony at the end of the game, and it almost kind of tied into us winning the region. So it was like a little ceremony without being a ceremony that was meant for that. And being able to have everybody in the center of the floor, Trey being named player of the game, it was special, especially when we heard the NBA score. That really solidified that we were going to get the number 1 seed, and now it's defending it. We had the number 2 seed last year, and 2 years ago, and it didn't mean a whole lot. But just to see the transformation is a testament to the maturity of the boys and their growth on the court and buying into each other. They really have bought into we over me. There's a lot of sacrifices, and it's not easy. I mean, there's still things that we have to correct and get our kids to buy into. But for the most part, they've done a really good job with that.
And one more thing with the regular season, you set a record for most wins in school history during the regular season. And again, those are things that you're proud of, that you're excited about. But for where you all want to get to, it doesn't mean anything right now.
It don't mean a thing. You can't tell me right now because I can't sleep.
Yeah.
All I'm thinking about is Lipscomb or Innsworth. What are we going to do Friday? How are we going to perform? That's my biggest concern. All the other stuff right now, I'll probably think about it 3 weeks from now and revel in it and be happy about it, but it doesn't mean anything. Lipscomb's not coming in looking at our record. Innsworth, they're not coming in looking at our record. They're coming in looking to beat us, and they're not going to cower because we're 23-4. One of them will be 1-0, and we'll still be 0-0. So we have to approach it that way.
Yeah, and that's the important thing, and I hope it got – and your kids, it should have gotten their attention of what happened with CPA against Father Ryan. CPA had not won a game this year, and then they go win by 20 in the playoffs and knock Father Ryan out. So it can be over quickly for you.
Yes.
And, again, it doesn't matter at this point. Everybody's 0-0 when they're heading in. Talk about – so you go throughout the season. You're used to playing on Tuesday, Friday. In some cases, you're playing 3 games a week. You played Friday night. Now you have a whole week until you play the following Friday. How do you keep the engines going? I know you gave them the weekend off, and then you show back up on Monday. What are some things that you all do to kind of keep them engaged as they get ready for what is going to be a monumental weekend for this program?
We try to keep practice competitive as possible, and through our competitive drills, we try to make sure they're conditioning through our drills. It's hard. I mean, they're teenagers. Obviously, you don't have that carrot of the game the next day right in front of you, so that motivation can wane. We're hoping to elevate our practice. Monday wasn't a great practice. It was okay. Yesterday was a little bit better, and today it needs to be a lot better. And then Thursday we need to be sharpening the tools to get ready to go try to win a ball game Friday.
So Friday, automatically, because of your 1 seed, the 1-2 seed get all the way into the semifinals of the tournament, which guarantees you get to the sub-state/state tournament. You'll still have work to do there, but I want to talk about Friday because as of right now, when you see this, you will know who we're playing. We do not yet. There's a game tonight, so I want you to speak briefly on both those programs, both teams you've seen this year, and we'll start with Innsworth.
Well, Innsworth, they're led by their 2 guards. They have O'Keefe and Heitch. Both can score the ball at very high volume. Both are really good off the dribble, quick, and they both are really proficient three-point shooters. So our main goal is to try to control those 2 guys. And then they have a freshman that's really athletic that is getting better by the game, Malachi. He's a handful. And then they have some good size with the post players that they rotate in and out. The last couple games we bothered them with our pressure. We're hoping to do the same Friday if that's the matchup. We had a pretty good lead against them here the last time we played them, but they won the second half, and I'm gonna make sure my boys know that they won the second half because we wasn't as focused as we needed to be.
Okay, and if it happens to be Lipscomb Academy, you can ignore what he just said or fast forward past that. Probably too late for that. But if it's Lipscomb Academy, let's talk a little bit about them because that's another team. You split with them this season. They won here, you won there.
Yes, and neither one of those games were easy. Obviously, the one we lost here, we lost by 5. They scored 80 points on us. That hadn't happened to us all year. We knew we had some defensive things that we needed to correct. It was a rough game. No one enjoyed it. It was 55 fouls called in that game, so it's kind of hard for either team to get a rhythm or play through that. But they have a terrific guard in Cam Blivens. He's a first-team All-Region player, averages about 20 a game. He puts a lot of pressure on us defensively. And then Miles Sidney is a tremendous athlete, plays the 3. Kid can score from anywhere. He's really improved his jump shot, which makes him even harder to guard. And he had 21 the first game, and he scored 10 of their first 15 in the second game. So he can score in bunches. But the second game we were a lot better defensively. They have a shooter that didn't play the first game. He played the second game. We did a really good job of. I think he made 1 3, and as long as we kind of keep those 3 guys under control, it'll be a winnable game.
You get to stay in the present of your next game. I can look ahead a little bit. I think one of the confusing things always within this division and this region is people are like, well, when do we play? What do we have to do? And things like that. So Friday becomes a big game because Friday guarantees you won't play again to the following Saturday. If you can win the Friday game and get to the championship game. If you lose Friday, then you're going to play on Wednesday on the road somewhere.
Yeah.
And so the Friday game is important, but then Saturday becomes important because in years past, the top 2 seeds have hosted games.
Yeah.
This year, it's only the top seed.
Yes. So we have to have a different approach. To me, Friday still is the most important game. We get to sub-state. You one game away from Cookeville. We like our chances whether we have to go on the road and play or if we're hosting at home. Obviously, we want to stay home and not have to do a 3.5-hour travel before we play because you're usually sluggish when you get off that bus and you don't have the greatest start when that happens. So, the goal was anyway to try to win the region tourney. But it was always if we were going to host, whether we were 1 or 2, it was always kind of like a little icing on the cake. But now it's become that much more important, so we could try to get another home game.
And next week we can speak a little bit more about the overall state. But one thing when you do look around this state, and I'm not sure the casual fan understands. I mean, you got teams in East Tennessee that are 25-4 or 24-4 right now. You got the same thing over here in West Tennessee. You've got a team in East Tennessee that knocked off Brentwood Academy earlier this year in Knox Webb. So there is
Baylor
and so the road to get to where you want to get is not an easy one. But I also know that if you all play the way you're capable of playing for 4 quarters, you're going to have a chance against anybody, and that's something we haven't seen.
No, we haven't seen that before. But it goes back to that seeding. I mean, if you want to play Briarcrest in Cookeville, or you want to play Baylor or Webb in Cookeville, or BA. You want to play them in Cookeville. You don't want to have to play them in that sub-state. You want to give yourself the opportunity to kick that down the road if you can, and not saying any of the other opponents wouldn't be a tough out because it's Division II AA. They're all good. Christian's Brothers, NBA, MUS, Macaulay, they're all good basketball teams. So we would have to bring our best to beat any of them.
Before we let you go, I want to ask you a question. We talk about the team and having that week off basically and what you do to get them revved up. What do you do as a coach? Because if you obsess every day, all day about what you have coming up in these games, you're going to go mental. So what do you do to kind of get away from basketball?
I'm going mental. I just told you I'm not sleeping. I think I woke up at 3:30 this morning. I was in the gym at 4 because I couldn't sleep. So I just went in there and I exercise. That's one of the things that helped me stay balanced. There's not a whole lot to do right now. I can't go play golf. I don't have that kind of time, and nor has the weather been that great. So it's basically just try to exercise. I talk to my assistant coaches. They kind of talk me off the ledge sometimes. I kind of talk them off the ledge. Matter of fact, Coach Abner and I just had about a 25-minute conversation about the bracket and our scenarios and what would be favorable for us and what we would do in every situation.
I told you last question, but I do want to mention something about your assistant coaches because you can't do this without them. And, I sit near your bench or around it, and I see how everyone is engaged, whether it's Coach Webby, whether it's Coach Lang, and certainly Coach Abner. Everybody here's Coach Abner, right?
Yeah. Coach Abner has really took a huge role in a lot of ways. Being in the building, Coach Lang's no longer here in the building, but Coach Abner, as far as the relationship piece, in the admissions office, I'm always meeting here, meeting there. So he kind of has those relationship with the kids. And I use that to my benefit. So he kind of became my offensive guru. He took over the offense this year because I know he's got their ear. They're going to listen. They respect him. He's done amazing. And then Coach Lang is just great at what he always does, and that's the relationship piece, getting the respect of the young men. They're also going to listen to him. They know he cares. And Coach Webby is the analytical guy. He sits over there, and he kind of keeps us all he kind of throws the what-if factor to us, and he's the coach that we bounce things off of. But they all have a great role.
Well, thank you, Dr. Wade. Hope Prep MBB is the Twitter account. You can check on there and see. I'm sorry, it's X now. You can check on Instagram to see when the games will be. Will be 5 o'clock on Friday night at CPA, both games at CPA. We just don't know the opponent. And there will be some Twitter updates throughout the game. I think I'm going to take that over for you all and try to post some highlights and things like that as well. But good luck. Look forward to seeing you next week after this weekend's games.
Thank you, Kyle. Look forward to it. Hopefully it's good news.
Your favorite wine tasting experience is back. The Hendersonville Rotary Club's Wine and Roses Fundraising Gala. Everything you loved and more. Saturday, March the 2nd. Prepare your taste buds for elegant wines, smooth whiskeys, craft beers, and exceptional food. Browse through the silent auction, all to benefit over 25 local charities, schools, and scholarships. Wine and Roses, Saturday, March the 2nd at Our Lady of the Lake Catholic Church, Hendersonville. HendersonvilleRotary.org.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers. Putting on one heck of a show.
Knocked out, going all the way in, he wins it!
Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
Having fun?
Yeah, I'm going to key of my own pretty soon. Me too.
Good night, Kia guy.
Good night.
Buckle up, Dad.
There yet?
At Kia of Murfreesboro, we're here whether you're ready or not.
Welcome back to the Pope Prep Coaches Show. This time, joined by Coach Kim DeMarigny. Coach, not the happiest of times. Season ended on this past Monday night.
Yes.
You all had a play-in game on Saturday. Let's talk about some good things first. St. Cecilia, you had that game as a play-in game. You started off a little slow in that game on Saturday, but then you all put them away basically in the second half.
Yeah.
Talk about your performance that day.
Well, it was our fourth game in the week, so when we played some tough games that week. So Saturday, 1 o'clock start, everybody was tired, no legs, and it was the third time we'd played them. They came out a little sluggish, but eventually we got ourselves together and did what we needed to do during that game. So I was pleased with the fact that they recovered and they put the ball in the basket and did what they needed to do to win the game.
Important feat on Saturday for one of your seniors here. Bethany Howard reached her 1,000th point on Saturday.
Yep.
Very classy of you. I want to say you were tied or you were trailing at that moment. It was a close game either way, but you called a timeout. Used one of your timeouts to take a chance to honor her in her career. And I thought the world of you for doing that for her in a moment where there are bigger things obviously in play to recognize her.
Right. Well, it was her 1,000th point. She's played here, all 4 years. And it was just a time for us to stop and just to honor her for her hard work. Regardless of what the score of the game was. I mean, this is a lifetime achievement, really, for her. So we wanted to just stop and just honor her for a minute and honor her family for all of the things that they've done in supporting her and, driving her, all of the commitment that they have as well. So it was a family, affair, and we just really thank her family and Bethany for all the work she's done here for Pope.
And then Monday night, you go to a very familiar opponent.
Yes.
For the third time in a week.
Third time
you
in a
played
week.
CPA. The first quarter, you dropped behind 11-0 early in the game. It was 21-7 at the end of one. But then the light clicked on for your team, and their performance over the next three quarters, I know they won 2 of the 3 and tied, I believe, the third quarter. And you had chances at the end of the game down 3 to get shots to try to tie the game.
We did. And, they came out just bombing from 3. I mean, they've got a post player inside we were trying to concentrate on, but just one-on-one with some weak side help. And sure enough, they were knocking down those threes again. And we were like, surely they can't shoot that well a third time. But they did, at least in the first quarter. So they shot very well the first quarter. They cooled off after that. And, we were able to make some adjustments and to get back in the game. But the girls worked hard. They understood rotations and the ball just didn't fall in the basket for us as much as we needed to. But, their effort was there. I was really proud of their effort and the fact they never gave up. They could have laid down in the first quarter, but they didn't, clawed their way back. And that just shows such resilience that, these young ladies have just decided to have this season, because you can go either way, but they've decided to have resilience and to work hard.
I was very lucky in college at the University of Tennessee to cover a lot of Pat Summitt's practices. And the big thing is defense, rebounds, and effort. And that was the thing I thought when I watched your team, even though you didn't win, the effort that they gave all the way to the end,
right,
in a time when they could have said, well, we don't want to be, who knows who wants to play next. But
right,
they fought, they competed.
Exactly.
And I think that says a lot for where you've got this program right now. And it's hopefully a building block to the future.
Well, it's just the hard work of the girls that they realize that, hard work pays off, and hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. So you don't have to be the most talented, but you've got to be the most hard-working player on the court. They may have more skill, but they may not have more effort, and that will take you a lot of places. So
that
we're
reminds
happy.
me, one of the things I do love, follow them on X, Pope Prep Women's Basketball. You can search it. You retweet a lot of great sayings and things about that, and videos and stuff that are very inspirational. If you bring up an inspirational quote, check them out, folks, because there's some really good stuff that's on there. So talk about, for you, you're a teacher here. You teach in the math department.
Yes.
What kind of challenge is it to teach? How many classes do you teach?
I have 4.
4 classes. Try to balance that with basketball. You're not getting home till late at night on either game night or practices. Then you've got a grade. What's the balance in life look like when you get going basically in November through February?
Right. Well, my husband is like, I have no wife basically until it's over, and that's fine. He understands. He signed up for this too. So, but you've got to teach a regular load, just like every other teacher here who doesn't have that big commitment after school and weekends and holidays, and it's time management, and it's just a commitment to get your grading done, get your lessons planned, get your practice plan, get your game plan. And wave to your family in the process. I mean, it's just including what's important to you. So my family's important. My girls are very important. My coaching staff's very important. My job's very important. So I'm willing to commit the time that it takes. I might not sleep very much during these months, and that's okay. Unfortunately, now that it's over, I can wind down a little bit and catch up on some things. But during those 4 months, we go hard. So my staff goes hard, and I've got a great staff. They are always there working, helping me plan, helping me organize as well. So I've got a great staff, and we commit to work hard from top to bottom, from the coaching staff down to the girls.
And you do. Coach Childress, Kim Childress, Norman Rodriguez,
Yes.
both instrumental in what you're trying to do, whether it's
Yes.
practice, game day, and things like that.
That's right. We want to set a good example for the girls, and so we're going to work hard at our jobs, scouting reports. We're going to hold them to a high standard. We're going to hold ourselves to a high standard, and so that's really what we're trying to do is create young women who are strong, good leaders, and able to stand on their own. So
you say goodbye now to some seniors, but what's the process for you all as an organization now that your season's over? Because you do have to start looking for next year.
Right.
I know there's not any necessarily coaching involved, but I'm sure that these girls, things that they need to work on, things that you all look back. Do you look back on the season and go, here's where we could have done better? Do you look forward and say, here's what I want to try to be next year based on your talent?
Right. Well, the first thing we do is we have exit interviews with every player. So we just basically go through a recap of the season with each person and say, this is what you did well, this is what you can improve on through the course of the summer, the spring and the summer. We want them to actually start working in the spring. We want them to play AAU. We want them to get in the gym on their own, get up shots, free throws, run, get quicker, do the things that you need to do as an individual so that we collectively can get better as a team. So we want to, I know that the girls are a little lost this week with not having practice, and so I'm encouraging them, start getting in the gym now. Pick up the ball, do some things that you didn't have time to do before. So we're encouraging them to go at it right away.
And that is the challenge when you have tournament basketball, because it ends and you don't realize it's ending because you go into a game hoping you're going to play
That's right.
Friday or Thursday, and then it's over. And so it is tough to wrap your head around that.
Yeah, and it's the first few weeks were, especially the first week. The first week we're just lost as to what to do. We kind of wander around and look at each other like, "What are you doing? Why aren't we at practice?" But it eventually we watch a lot of TV, of film on film. We watch.
A little noise there. That's okay. Go ahead.
We watch a lot of film. We watch a lot of basketball. We just you're just addicted to it. So we watch a lot. We watch collegiate. We watch high school. We watch our the boys are still in it. So we're going to be there cheering them on too. So we just love the game.
And how important is the bonding as a team and getting them together where they're doing non-basketball stuff, but they're able to bond together?
Yeah, we want them to be friends. We want them to care more about each other as people than they do as players. So we want them together. We want them spending time together, getting to know each other better, because we really feel like that's going to be the long term for them, is being able to be friends with each other. They'll be friends on the court. They'll be friends off the court.
Awesome. Coach Kim DeMarigny, thank you so much this season.
Absolutely.
We look forward to getting back at it next year and doing this show and welcoming you again. You're welcome to come in and talk with Dr. Wade if you want to and talk ball with him about what they have coming up, but it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good.
I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
We thrive under the lights. A city of performers. Putting on one heck of a show. Headlining night after night. Welcome to Smashville.
Your favorite wine tasting experience is back. The Hendersonville Rotary Club's Wine and Roses Fundraising Gala. Everything you loved and more. Saturday, March the 2nd. Prepare your taste buds for elegant wines, smooth whiskeys, craft beers, and exceptional food. Browse through the silent auction, all to benefit over 25 local charities, schools, and scholarships. Wine and Roses, Saturday, March the 2nd at Our Lady of the Lake Catholic Church, Hendersonville. HendersonvilleRotary.org.
Welcome back. We were joined by senior Bethany Howard. Bethany, your career ended this week,
Yes.
but something really cool happened this past weekend. You got your 1,000th point.
Yes.
That's a rare feat, but an awesome job in your 4 years. Talk about that moment for you.
Yeah, so I actually wasn't expecting it. I didn't know how many points I had coming into my senior year. I didn't think I was going to get it. And so just to have that moment happen to me at a home game too, with my family there, my teammates supporting me, it was a really awesome moment.
Your career ends at Pope. Take us back to what maybe is your most memorable moment here as a player. Was there a special moment? Was it the 1,000 points? Was it just being around teammates?
Honestly, I would have to say senior night, and I know that's kind of basic, but just being here for 4 years and being able to see all the seniors before me just get recognized for their accomplishments and everything. Just being able to walk in the gym with my family and just look at the crowd and the fans and everything and just be acknowledged. That's probably my favorite moment.
And basketball's not over for you.
Right.
Tell us about your future.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to Warner University in Florida. It's an NAIA D1. And I'm really excited. I love the coaches there. I love Florida. My family's moving there after I graduate. So it felt like home, and I'm ready for the next step.
Well, it's been awesome watching you and being around that, but I'm not going to let you get out of here quickly. We're going to put you on the hot seat. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Gotcha.
Rapid fire questions first. Get hype song before a game.
No Hands by Waka Flocka.
Ooh, nice. Played that song at the game. Next, go to meal after a game.
Ooh, Chick-fil-A, for sure.
Okay, excellent. Last show you binged.
Outer Banks.
Okay.
Yeah,
Beach or mountains?
beach.
I got to say beach. You're
Yeah.
going to Florida, you watched Outer Banks.
For sure.
And then the last one, the favorite class that you've had here at Pope.
Definitely theology, like senior year service. Like, it's really fun. Like, we get to leave school and then just go like out in the community and serve with my friends. It's fun.
That's awesome. Bethany Howard, thank you so much. We are joined by senior Fred Bailey. It hurts me to say that. We just had Bethany Howard on. Seeing you guys grow up and mature in this program, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So this year, we just had Bethany, and we talked about a big moment in her career that happened this year, and that was reaching 1,000 points. You did that earlier this year. Talk about that achievement from a personal standpoint.
Honestly, it's just a blessing to be on the list, to be with the other 3 guys that's on the list, and it's a chance for me to keep climbing until I leave Pope.
So basketball's not over for you yet here at Pope. You got a big week coming up. The goals to start the season were to get to Cookeville, right?
Of course.
And that's still in play. Talk a little bit about, too, after basketball ends here and after your career here at Pope, you're going on to continue to play basketball. Talk about that.
Honestly, basically this summer is going to be based off just working hard, getting better at my weaknesses. Obviously shooting the 3 more, stuff like that, small stuff, so I can become the player I want to be at Rebecca.
Awesome. Okay, before I let you go, I'm going to ask you 5 questions, random questions, put you on the hot seat. We're going to see how you do. First one, get hype song before a game.
Not finished, Lil Baby.
Okay, Lil Baby, all right. Go to meal after a game.
Chipotle.
Excellent. Last show you binged.
The Flash.
Okay, you Antonio, same person there.
Best show out.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
And finally, what's been your favorite class here at Pope?
I'll say Miss Pepper, pre-calc.
You and Antonio are the same person there.
No.
Fred Bailey, it's been a pleasure watching. I can't wait to watch
Thank
you
you.
over these next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. When we are back next week, we'll hopefully know at that point who we're going to be playing in the state tournament. Big weekend ahead for the boys as they compete in the region tournament, trying to win their very first region tournament championship. Look for times, look for opponents on the websites, either on X or on Instagram. Thanks a lot.